What's up guys, it's your boy Personality and today we're back again, and you already know this is the channel for anything FGC related. We gotta talk about it. So currently there's this discussion happening across many platforms that is suggesting that Mortal Kombat 1 isn't looking all too good, especially when you line it up with its competitors. These competitors being Street Fighter 6, Tekken 8, whatever other fighter you want to pull out there, maybe DNF Duel. Maybe Mortal Kombat 1 has got to do a lot of catching up with DNF Duel, but currently the discussion revolves around the fact that Mortal Kombat 1, despite what we've already seen, despite what's being shown to us, is not looking as graphically impressive, nor is it looking as smooth as it can be. Now, most people, or the Mortal Kombat fan base, has already come out and defended and said, look, this is just the style of Mortal Kombat, using the motion capture on the various actors. That's what we like, that's how our game looks, we're okay with it. And then you have the opinion of many other people, and I guess fighting games are kind of leaving this niche category that people love to believe in it's in. I mean, Mortal Kombat isn't niche. Anybody who thinks that series isn't big, I mean, come on, let's be honest. It has a huge following, a huge player base, and overall people pay attention to Mortal Kombat. But now the discussion is on, does Mortal Kombat look a bit janky? Does it look slow? Are the animations weird? Because we're now living in a time period where each fighting game is kind of distinguishing itself with a unique aspect. We know Tekken has those kind of blocky fights, but at the same time extremely polished look, especially if we look at how Tekken 8 is shaping up. Tekken 7 looks like a school project when it's put side by side to Tekken 8. Like, that looks straight out of a real powerhouse of a studio. Then we've got Street Fighter 6. I personally did not like Street Fighter 5's art style nor direction. I felt like the characters came out very stiff. They looked all play-doh-y and like blocky. It looked weird, but Street Fighter 6 is definitely a beauty. It's a spectacle to behold, and it's one of my favorite looking fighting games right now. And then of course we've got the beautiful expression and animation coming out of Guilty Gear Strive. And to be very honest, when you look at all of these popular offerings within the fighting game atmosphere, Mortal Kombat 1 looks like, you know, we could see some polishing take place. Obviously this game isn't due until September, but there's also the fact that they could be showing us something that they were working on earlier, you know, in the same Unreal Engine 5. What's interesting to note is that Mortal Kombat 1 and Tekken 8 are both made in Unreal Engine 5, and you could see a stark difference, maybe in terms of texturing, maybe in terms of detailing, and maybe just how the environment looks when you put Tekken 8 next to Mortal Kombat 1. But I think there's still time for them to polish this look. I mean, it's really bad when people go on and go forth to say that, look, even Super Smash Bros. Melee is looking better than it. I definitely think that's a stretch, but that's something and a place where the conversation has been going. For me, the jankiest part might be from going from gameplay into cinematics. The X-ray moves and the special moves, they look great, but transitioning from that kind of stiff movement that they use with the motion capture into that cinematic experience is not the smoothest experience in my opinion, and I definitely think that there is some polishing that needs to be done. In the world of Street Fighter 6, there is a bit of controversy. Now, as you know, in my last video I spoke about Rashid. Rashid got announced the same time I was creating that video, but now his announcement confirms that he will be released on the 24th. So I know all of us can't wait for that. That's going to be an exciting time. But added to that is that Rashid will be legal for EVO. Now we know that's really not that favorable for many people, especially since, you know, that just gives you roughly about 1 week, a week and a half to really prepare for Rashid's place in this competition that's gonna be going down, because EVO is right around the corner. And in front of me, I've actually got an aggregate tier list that has been composed from a bunch of pro players. So the original tweet says, We created a character rank based on the average value of top pros: Haitani, Mago, Kawano, Tachikawa, Big Bird, Angry Bird. So I think these are the top ranked players. And they say that this is the most accurate character rank in the world. There is a left to right difference. The total value of each character and the calculation method are the following tweets. So now you have this tier list, and people are kind of popping off and saying that this is why you don't trust tier lists. Some people are saying this is very accurate, and I think it is accurate based on usage. I mean, now I've actually seen more and more videos coming out speaking about Zangief and Lily in particular, and why the grapplers of Street Fighter 6 are a bit disappointing, and perhaps they were not some people expected grapplers to be in this exact position. They had no hopes for them. But you've got Lily and Zangief below, right? I also think that this may be in considering classic controls. I doubt they would have calculated this for modern controls. This is just classic control scheme. And we've got Ken at the top. I trust and believe the amount of times I've been encountering Kens, and we've seen what has been recently happening in recent competitions. Kens have been dominating. I even saw a tweet that said that, look, EVO has a registration for Street Fighter 6 of 6,000 entrants. We're going to see 5,200 Kens, and Ken is very popular. Even I know, as a new Street Fighter player, I'm picking up Ken because they always say Ken and Ryu is that entry point. But Ken is pretty good and solidifies his place at the #1 spot in S rank. Now I know there's a certain YouTuber that we all know, I'm not gonna mention, but he uses JP, and he always speaks about how JP is bottom tier, possibly the lowest tier. He's a god of the low tier, but we're seeing that JP is actually at A tier, and I've been seeing some JPs, they've been popping off. Zonas in games are usually possibly the hardest set of characters to pick up and be good with, but their dedication does bear good fruit, such as JP, such as Guile as well. But Dalsim is surprisingly all the way down in C tier. Maybe it's my inexperience, but Marissa hits like a damn truck, and when Marissa gets to cooking, your life literally is zero. But Marissa is in C tier. I would personally put her, she is high C tier, so she's not necessarily bad, not in B tier, but she's right there. Blanca, we've seen a tournament won with Blanca in recent times. Chun-Li is still a technical character, so she's not the most beginner friendly character. But I think this list is something that is generally being agreed on by the wider fighting game community as a bit controversial. It might be accurate to a certain extent, may not be accurate. I am of the team that believes that, look, at the end of the day, tier lists really don't matter that much. It really does boil down to how much you know what your character could do and how much you know that your opponent's character can do. And then obviously there are some very bad matchups that are not beneficial. Now, S tier, Luke definitely up there, Cammy definitely up there, Jury. It's funny because I always try to start games and I'm like, I don't want to play the highest tier characters. I want to learn the fundamentals. I want to learn the basic characters, but the characters I've all been drawn to so far have been S tiers. Jury, Cammy, Ken now. I mean, Jamie in C tier is wild. It's wild. I feel like Jamie has that Shulk effect from Smash Bros, where Shulk is always said to be this high S tier once you know how to use his Monado arts, because then he's like technically like 6 characters, there's always that talk. When Jamie gets fully drunk, when he takes about 4 sips and he's in that state, I definitely believe he could be high A tier. But of course, this is just a tier list. It's not a definitive list. It's more, but it does have some information based on a decent scope of collection to come up with its conclusions. But it is, of course, a Japanese list, and perhaps these are who the Japanese players would have matched and think that effectively this list could give a good scope of information based within their region or what limited supply of players they had to interact with. So now we see that, Street Fighter 6 is just a month in, And actually, they're celebrating 2 million sales. And who knows where Rashid is going to be placed on this? Who knows what's going to happen on the 24th? All of this could just be thrown out the way. Matchups could change because of Rashid coming in. Then, of course, we've got to factor in the popularity of the character. There's so much technicalities that go on with these tier lists, especially in a brand new game. But that's all we're going to be talking about for today. So, guys, what is your opinion on the take on Mortal Kombat's image, the look of Mortal Kombat? Is it really that bad? Is it, man, it's gonna be polished? What's your opinion on it? And of course, what's your opinion on this tier list? Is it accurate? Is there some things you would change? I think there are some things I would change. But overall, I think we've got some great things to see, especially as EVO is right around the corner. And we're gonna be doing some deep dives, some analysis, some shake-ups, some shockers, and maybe even some tournament analysis in the weeks to come. Until then, I will see you guys. And of course, stay gaming.